Ever find yourself wondering what Bill Gates was thinking like way back when computers were just becoming a thing?
Yeah, like a blast from the past.
Totally. Well, we're diving into that today, going deep on his own words at three different moments in tech history. Letters, memos, and, the good stuff. To see if we can't uncover how his thinking has evolved.
And maybe learn a thing or two about spotting the next big thing.
Exactly. So first up, 1976. Picture this home computers. They're like the new kid on the block. And Gates and his partner, Paul Allen, they've just poured everything into this new software, Altair Basic.
Which was huge, right? I mean, it basically paved the way for the software we use today.
Huge. But here's the catch. Nobody's really paying for software yet. It's this weird new thing, and people are copying it left and right.
Sharing it like it's a library book.
Right. And that's where this letter comes in. It's 1976. Gates is writing to these computer hobbyists, and you can practically hear the frustration in his voice.
Oh yeah, he's definitely fired up. Imagine you're this young programmer. You pour your heart and soul into this project, and nobody even bats an eye at stealing it.
It's like you said, sharing it like a library book, but nobody's checking it out. They're just making copies.
Exactly. And for Gates, it wasn't just about the money, though. He does point out that they'd spent what would be over $40,000 of their time on this.
40,000. Wow.
Right. But his bigger worry was, would anyone make quality software if they couldn't even afford to eat?
Because who's going to spend months, years, even building something amazing if there's no reward at the end?
It's a really interesting point he makes, too, like this idea that sharing software is some kind of noble act. He's basically saying, hold on a second, this is theft.
And it's hurting everyone in the long run.
Exactly.
And it's something we're still grappling with today, right? Like that balance between access and fair compensation for creators. But more on that later.
Because we're not done with Bill Gates yet. Next up, we're jumping ahead to 1995. The internet is gaining steam, and Bill Gates, he sees a tidal wave coming.
So 1995, huh? Like I remember 1995 and the internet back then was all right.
It was like the Wild West of dial-up and those awful, clunky websites.
Yeah. You practically needed a computer science degree just to figure out how to download a picture. But even back then, Bill Gates, he saw something big on the horizon.
Huge. He called it the Internet Tidal Wave.
The tidal wave. Okay, so is he talking like wipe out the dinosaurs level event here?
Pretty much. Remember, this is the guy who built an empire on personal computers.
Yeah.
And he's saying this internet thing, this is even bigger. Like the biggest thing since the IBM PC. Bigger than graphical user interfaces even. And that was a game changer.
Okay, hold on. I need to process this for a sec. So bigger than the thing that made computers easy to use for everyone.
Exactly. Gates was convinced the internet was going to change everything, and guess what?
He was right. Okay, so what did he see? Like, what were the clues that tipped him off?
Well, for one, the speed. He was blown away by how fast the internet was growing. Yeah. Like every day there was more content, more people, more everything.
And this was before social media even.
Oh yeah, this is like the stone age of the internet we're talking about. But Gates saw that potential. He saw that once the floodgates opened, there'd be no stopping it.
So he was like the guy who saw the potential of smartphones before smartphones even existed?
Exactly. He understood that this wasn't just about tech. It was about connecting people, information, ideas on a scale never seen before.
And that open protocols thing you mentioned earlier, that was a big deal for him.
Oh, absolutely. He saw that the internet was built on this idea of openness. Like anyone could create something and share it with the world. No gatekeepers, no permission required.
Which is kind of ironic considering what Microsoft tried to do with Internet Explorer later on.
Yeah, well, nobody's perfect, but you're right. Even Gates, he had his blind spots. But for the most part, he was spot on about the internet. It really was a tidal wave and it changed everything. But little did he know, another even bigger wave was already forming on the horizon. And that brings us to 2023 and the rise of AI.
So from software piracy to the internet boom and now AI, it's like every decade Bill Gates is wrestling with some huge new tech that's about to change the world.
And in 2023, AI was definitely having its moment.
Right, like everyone and their dog was talking about AI. But what's interesting is that Gates is drawing these really clear connections back to the PC and the internet.
And he's not just saying AI is the next big thing. He's saying it's even more fundamental than those earlier revolutions.
Okay, so even bigger than the internet. That's a bold statement. What makes AI so different in his eyes?
It's the potential for impact. Like on a scale we haven't really seen before. Gates is talking about AI reshaping entire industries, not just automating tasks, but changing the very nature of work itself.
So not just making our jobs a little easier.
No, not at all. He's talking about AI leading to completely new industries, new ways of solving problems.
And maybe even solving some of those big, hairy problems that have been plaguing humanity for centuries.
Exactly. Like healthcare, for example.
Yeah.
Gates sees AI as a game changer for global health. Imagine AI-powered diagnostic tools that can be used in remote villages or personalized medicine tailored to your specific DNA.
It's like science fiction becoming reality.
It really is. And it's not just healthcare. He talks about AI revolutionizing education, too. Personalized learning plans for every student, AI tutors that can adapt to different learning styles.
So potentially every kid could have access to the best education, regardless of their background or where they live.
Exactly. And that's a huge deal.
Mhm.
Because education is the key to opportunity. But of course, it's not all sunshine and roses, all right? I mean, AI makes people nervous.
To say the least. I mean, job displacement, killer robots, you name it. It's the stuff of nightmares.
And Gates acknowledges those fears. He's not saying we should just blindly trust AI, but he also says we can't let fear paralyze us.
Because the potential benefits are just too great to ignore.
Right. It's about finding that balance between caution and innovation.
So how do we walk that tightrope? It's such a complex issue.
It really is. And it's something we're all going to have to figure out together. But, even when Gates is talking about the potential downside of AI, you still hear that same intellectual curiosity that we saw in his earlier writings.
He's still that kid who loves figuring out how things work.
Exactly. And that brings us to the big question that Gates poses at the end of his piece. He asks, could AI, with its capacity for pure logic, actually learn to recognize and solve societal problems on its own?
Wow, that's a question for the ages. It's like he's asking, could AI become more human than humans in a way?
It's a mind-blowing thought, isn't it? And it just goes to show that even after decades in the tech world, Bill Gates is still asking the big questions.
And still excited about the possibilities. Well, what a journey from software piracy to the internet to AI. It really makes you think about what other tidal waves are already out there waiting for us to ride.
And what role we'll play in shaping those waves.
That's the real question, isn't it? Thanks for diving deep with us. Until next time, keep those brainwaves buzzing.